that.
Hold on.
Yeah, Kristen. I was calling you Cameron. I don't know who that is.
How do we see the transcription?
Okay, I think that
Because we were able to see it last time, right?
yeah, if you go where you hit transcribe, you can see it now. I see it.
Oh, show transcription.
Wait, where?
I got it.
It's in the more actions, and then it's recording transcribe.
Oh. Okay.
Okay.
Oops. Wait, did I just stop the whole transcription?
Yes.
My bad.
Brother, brother.
Okay. Yeah, there we go.
Okay, so we're good.
Whoever wants to go can go.
All right, I'll start. So the bad goal from the bad goals list I chose, it was just I want to get stronger, which is so vague. It's not a great goal for many reasons, but I'll break it down how we put it in the smarts system and just applied what we've been learning to the bad goal. So for the S part for specific, it's not very specific as it never explains like what type of strength a person wants to improve specifically, if it's upper body, total body, lower body, etc. It doesn't mention how the person plans to get stronger. Without these details, I think that the goal is too vague and it's like less likely to be successful when you go to train for this goal. And for the M for measurable, I think there's nothing in this goal that's measurable because there's no test, there's no like any type of measurable numbers, any tracking methods. So it's going to be hard to measure your strength project progress without performance measurabilities like run rep max or amount of weight lifted. So it's impossible to measure your strength by this goal alone. And the A portion is action oriented, and this goal lacks any action that the person takes to get stronger. Without the action steps, the goal becomes more like a wish than a goal that someone can actually follow. And for the R, it's realistic, and I don't think this goal specifies whether it's realistic because it never explains the person's starting point. Like if you're a beginner wanting to get stronger, you're going to advance a lot more at the start, but if you're advanced already and somebody who's already bodybuilding may want to get stronger, but there's no baseline in this goal, there's no starting point. So I don't think that part's really good. The lack of the detail in that makes it unclear and makes it unclear if it can be realistically achieved. For the T, the time sensitive, I don't think there's a timeline in the original goal that's very well set because it's not one at all. If you're gonna increase your strength, it requires months of work, and just saying I want to get stronger doesn't provide a time goal or even a time allotted to do this. So without a deadline, the person also has no clear window to achieve this progress. And for the last, self-determined, the goal doesn't show whether the person chose it themselves or it's just influenced by others. The original version of this lacks any sense of personal ownership. There's no I, or there is an I, but just saying I doesn't make it self determined. Um, so that's like my original, like what I thought about that basic bad goal. And then how I'm going to rewrite it and make it more specific to start is just put some specificity into the S part of SMART and just say my goal is to increase total body strength by focusing on major compound lifts in my workout program, specifically targeting squat, bench, and deadlift because these lifts contribute to overall strength improvement. And I'll make it measurable by telling myself that I'll measure my progress increasing squat, bench, and deadlift by a combined total of 50 pounds, with that number being my set goal for measurability. And I can track these numbers weekly by using a workout app. For my action place or my action spot, I'll follow a structured lifting program that I've set, and it includes 3 strength training workouts per week. And each workout includes heavier sets for the 3 lifts I chose. And by doing this, it gives me a clear plan to follow. For the realistic portion, I chose that I will need a 50-pound total increase in the major lifts over several weeks because it's achievable with proper training, nutrition, and recovering. And it's pretty realistic over 8 weeks that I can increase 50 pounds in 3 lifts. So making that realistic and achievable is probably the most important thing for my goal right now in the realistic stage. And I think it's time sensitive by changing it and giving myself a timeline of 8 weeks that I hinted on earlier. My timeline is to increase this strength gain within 8 weeks while still allowing for healthy and gradual progress. I don't think that's too fast because 8 weeks is pretty long for just 50 pounds, especially if I'm a novice. And then I believe my goal is self determined because I personally want to become stronger and improve my performance in the gym for me and for my health. And I'm choosing the workout and the program based on what motivates me and not any outside pressures. And I'm taking ownership of this goal and committing to complete the goal. So that's like my overall goal. That was my starting bad goal, and me taking it and using the smart system to make this bad goal into a good goal. So what do y'all got for me?
I thought that was really good. I thought you hit most of that right on the head. One suggestion I would have for the measurable side was how you were going to create a specific training regimen and with I want to do 6 sets of 8 hack squat, or I want to do 10 sets of XYZ. I think that was one thing that was missing in the measurable goal that I might think that you should add there.
So you think like giving sets and reps included with just my plan is going to like strengthen that measurable side of it?
Yes, I think so, because it also provides quantitative values for you to look at. Say, look, I can do, I can squat 245 pounds, for 4 sets of 8 in week 3, and in week 6, I can do, 255. That shows that you're gaining your strength over, that shows that your goal is happening. It's working for you because you're becoming stronger.
Yeah, I can see because I just have like a strength plan on there. I can see how that's too vague for the M part for measurables. I can see like just saying I'm gonna incorporate a strength program. Like what sets and reps. That is the place that I need those numbers. So yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna ask because I was thinking the same thing, but I was more so thinking I didn't know if you were working with like a trainer or a person who was gonna have that for you, which could be helpful if you're not like a trainer yourself or knowledgeable about like how many sets and reps you should be doing. So if it's like something serious, if you're lifting like crazy heavy weights, then I would work with a trainer, but if you're not doing anything like
So
that intense, then I think
you think that'd be in like the realistic part to where like if I'm realistically trying to increase my weights by 50 pounds each, then
right.
I should realistically, contact a physical trainer or somebody like an exercise physiologist that knows like what they're
Yeah.
doing.
I'd probably ask just to see if that is realistic. Like I said, I mean, if you know, maybe, but like 50 pounds, yeah, I would definitely ask, I think. Let's see what other
I think
question.
another thing that you could add is just saying like why you want to get stronger instead of just saying I want to be stronger. I think part of the self-determination aspect of the goal, it's like I want to become like what makes you want to become stronger just because you feel weak, or you're training for a competition, or maybe you just want to promote general health and wellness. Like I think you should add what makes, or what's the reasoning for this goal.
Okay. I think my goal would probably to increase health and wellness and like prolong. Well, I guess the word would be delay, like aging and early onset of
Sure.
some certain diseases. But yeah, I like that one.
That's fair. Mm, when you first read your first bad goal, what stood out as like the biggest problem in terms of like the SMARTS acronym?
Honestly, I know that this smarts, it's a pretty long process to put into a goal. So just these like 4 words, I want to get stronger. It's like
Right.
it's definitely not enough. It's so vague. It lacks. I think, in my opinion, it lacks all of the smarts goals,
Right.
which is why it's a bad goal. But I mean, that's really what stood out to me. It's not even really a complete sentence. It's just I want to get stronger. I mean, where am I starting? Where am I finishing? Like, there's no really concrete anything to this goal. So it was a pretty easy goal to start out with because there's nothing going for it. So it's pretty easy to go from there. Start at zero. You have any more like suggestions I should make?
I have one more question. So I don't remember already, but you're working on what part of the body and strengthening or the whole thing?
I'm working on overall, but I'm just mainly targeting 3 lifts. But like that first one is I want to get stronger, but then in my goal, like changing it, in my action specific, I was talking about just deadlift, bench press, and squat.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess that would be overall body.
Okay, that's fair.
Mhm.
Um,
Do you think that should like I should specify that in my goal as well in the action related?
yeah, probably. I mean, maybe I just forgot. You might have said it, but I would make it more.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think.
I got you.
Yeah.
That makes sense. You got anything else, Charlie?
No, I think it's a good goal. Um, I think once you maybe can look at some of the other suggestions that we talked about, it can help you make that goal. And then I look forward to seeing your 8-week progress.
Let's go. Yeah, so now I'm just gonna summarize what y'all told me and how I plan to change them. But I'm starting out with like my measurables portion. Y'all kind of gave me some good pointers what to do there, and I'm gonna incorporate more numbers so that it's really measurable, like in terms of sets and reps for each lift, so that I can see improvement and track improvement that way. And for my realistic goals, I might need if I'm talking about 50 pounds each lift, yeah, I like what Kristen said, incorporating a physical trainer or exercise physiologist, if 50 pounds is even realistic. See what they say when I consult with them. And if they think it's a good idea or how to do it, then I should probably incorporate someone of some type of professional um, for my realistic goal. And then I also do recognize that maybe my self determined portion of my SMARTS goal was a little weak. And I think I should add what Charlie was talking about, like a more of a why instead of just it's because of me, a why behind what I feel like I need to improve. Like, as I told Charlie, it's for like overall health and prevention of disease, but that wasn't in my goal. That was in our conversation. So I definitely need to add that to the self determined portion of my goal. And then I think that's all. Oh yeah, I wanted to add also like what overall body part of my body I wanted to increase, which was just total body, and that wasn't included in there. So yeah, I definitely want to. I want somebody to be able to look at my goal and see that all these smarts are accomplished, and definitely what overall portion of my body I'm hitting, even if it's the whole thing. So I like that one too.
Awesome. All right, I think we can stop the recording here and then
Do we?
re-record.
I thought we just
Just
keep it going.
I
well,
think
I'm
you
just
keep it
saying, just
going.
like, okay, we could do that just so we can. I just want to be able to grab this transcript so that way it doesn't get lost. You know, because remember how difficult it was last time, Kristen?
But that's because we did the wrong thing. We like, I don't know. I could be wrong. I think it has to be in one.
Yeah, I think it does.
Okay, well, I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna try to just start it and just so I have it.
Yeah, I think he was right. That was a lot longer than 5 minutes, I think.
It was
Yeah,
like
it's
11, yeah.
Relaxation. He's just gonna have this big like gap of no speaking.
Yeah. Sorry, Mr. Murphy. Sorry. He definitely is gonna read that on the transcript. My bad, bro.
That's fine.
It's fine.
What the hell? Where?
Are you figuring that out, Charlie?
I'm trying to get the transcript, but it doesn't.
I think
It's
I think
just
you can't get it while it's live. Like we
Yeah,
have
I
to
don't
end
think.
it. We have to
Yeah,
end it and then download it.
okay. I
let
just
me
because it was
look.
such a
I don't
problem
know
last time.
I don't know if this says we can stop
It
it
was
or
such a
start it.
problem last time, so I just wanted to try to just get it so we could section it easier. But whatever. I gotta get my computer charger. Hold on. Low-key a snack.
Okay, yeah. I don't know.
All right, who wants to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay, Kristen. Perfect.
Ready?
Ready.
Yes.
Okay. My bad goal was that I want to be a better teammate. So going through the SMARTS acronym, this goal lacks specificity. I want to be a better teammate, kind of, but what aspect? You could be more encouraging, more empathetic, more of a leader, being better at constructive criticism. So that doesn't really give us any info on like what our actual goal is. We need to like boil it down to one specific aspect of being a better teammate. It's not measurable considering we don't even have a real goal. There's no way to measure it. Also, being a better teammate is kind of subjective, so you need like one action to take so we can actually have a measurement scale. This goal lacks action. There's no place in our goal that actually describes any actions we're taking toward reaching the goal. It doesn't tell us what we're doing, it just says what we want. Realistic, although this goal is not impossible, being a better teammate seems like very easy. We don't have any specific goal, we don't have any measurements, so we can't really determine or judge whether it's realistic or not because we have nothing to base it off of. And then timely or time oriented, there's no deadline or time frame for the goal. It just says we want to be better. We don't know if we want to be better in 10 weeks, 6 weeks, for the rest of our lives. So we need to kind of give it time so we can actually reach the goal. And then it's not self-determined. This goal lacks anything personal, no personal meaning or motivation for why we're doing it. So, my rewritten goal states that because I want to be a more positive influence on the team, I will improve my teamwork by giving a minimum of 2 pieces of positive communication, which can include encouragement or helpful, constructive feedback, to my teammates every practice for the next 4 weeks. Communication is something I personally want to grow in to help my team succeed. So going through the acronym again, this goal is specific. It clearly states that we're using positive communication, which is the aspect we're going to be working on, communication, to uplift our teammates. It also gives specific guidelines on how to do it. Measurable, the guidelines states that I need to do, a minimum, so 2 or more comments of positive communication during practice. You can measure it simply by counting. You could journal it. You could check in with the coach after practice. Okay, did you hear me say these 2 things? Action oriented, instead of just being better, we actually have an action to do it. Communication, we're speaking to people, we're talking to people, we're encouraging people. Realistic, providing 2 pieces of communication during practice is very realistic and very easy for almost anybody to do. Every single practice is not something hard, and it definitely can be done in a 4-week period. And then timely, it's time oriented. We're implementing it over the span of 4 weeks, twice each practice. And then it is self-determined. I stated that I want to improve my teamwork and that communication is something that I want to grow in. And then I have the motivation to do it now because we've made it personal to my own beliefs or wants. So my SMARTS analysis, we have a clear definition of what's happening and why this change was necessary. And originally it wasn't really measurable because we didn't have a real goal to deal with. You can't really measure something if you don't have a goal. Like I said, also being better is kind of subjective. So we kind of needed to have an action to go with it. So for my third part, making our goal action oriented was one of the biggest changes we made because we need to know how we're going to be better and we needed something we could physically do to do it. So yeah.
Hey, Charlie, you got anything?
That was great, Kristen. I thought, or one suggestion that I have for you is when you say part of the self-determination that you were talking about is I want to be a more effective and better communicator. You said that's something you wanted to work on. Just what is your reasoning behind that? Why, what about communication do you think you need to work on, and uh, why do you want to?
Okay, that's fair. I think just more positive communication, especially on the team. I feel like people are afraid to speak up unless they're like team captain or whatever. So I think uplifting the team and then just communication in general for future like workplaces or goals or my future occupation. I'm gonna have to talk to people and uplift people. But yeah, I'll add that in. I think it does need to be a little more specific to like, oh, I just want to be better at communication. Everybody wants to be better at communication. So I think adding in like, okay, this will help me for my future and uplift the team.
Yeah, like mine kind of goes along with that. I think on the reality, like coming from the realistic step, I would just see that the goal fits into like a schedule that it can be maintained. Like, can you be a like better teammate by these ways outside of practice, only inside of practice, or because if you can be positive in the classroom if it's like a school setting or elsewhere that you can also track and maintain. So I can like see you changing the goals slightly to you know so vague to slightly outside of practice or in other places as well.
Do you think I should add like more or like maybe 2 times in practice? I mean, I'm assuming we're in the setting of like school practice. Let's say if I'm in like high school. So should I add like maybe 1 time at school or like 2 times in practice and then once my every because I feel like 2 is, like I said, pretty easy for the general population to complete. Like
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
not.
2 times in practice, I think is acceptable because a lot of practice, you're practicing and not talking to teammates. But like in a team setting, you're doing a lot of stuff with your team. Maybe like one is like post game because when tensions are high or emotions are high post game, either way on the high side or the low side after a win or a loss, maybe positive feedback or encouragement is a really important step for your teammates there in the right direction
Okay.
that helps you with this goal majorly.
Okay.
Like that one.
Any more suggestions or questions?
Yes.
I have one if you're still reading what you wrote down, Charlie. I have one.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just mine's more on like the action side, like specifically what you'll do or like behaviors that go along with the goal. Like maybe like is there gonna be like hugs? I don't know. Like are you gonna like buy your teammates food to show like a monetary spending on them? Like show compassion in other ways than just verbally. You know what I'm saying? Like
Okay,
what
that's fair. I
what
think
actions could you take?
that's fair. I think in our class, he taught us a lot about different communication styles. Verbal, nonverbal, we learned is like a higher percentage almost than verbal communication. So I think even just adding more positive body language could be better than maybe if you're always looking upset or like just being more positive in your nonverbal behaviors. That's a good one. Charlie, do you have anything else?
Sorry, I'm just going. I'm looking at my notes right now. Um,
I have a
so
last one. If
when you
if you want
say
it, Kristen, you don't have to take it.
no, I just have a question. So,
Yeah.
um, when you say better, so when you say better, like you talked about earlier, how that was a subjective term, or do you only want to be a better teammate via communication, or was there other aspects that you thought would help you to, be a better teammate? You say, like, would you say it's just a communication thing, or what else? Do you think there's anything else that you could maybe strive for?
I think there's a lot somebody could strive for to be a better teammate. I was just trying to make it specific as possible for
Sure.
the SMARTS goal because I don't want to make it too vague. I think there are other things I could do, but I think communication is probably the biggest one, just to narrow it down in order so I can actually measure it.
Okay.
But yeah. I think after completing that goal, I would definitely, if I were to continue this assignment or project, you would move on to the next thing, not so much of communication. Now, maybe being more of a leader, learning how to do more constructive criticism or
Hmm.
something else.
I had a question or suggestion on the time frame part. Like it sounded pretty general, but is this like over a season or over like a few weeks or what's the time frame on there so that it's more achievable and it's like simpler to understand looking back at your goal?
On here I have 4 weeks, so a month.
Yeah, it's maintainable. That's not bad. I like that.
Okay, so if we don't have any more questions to summarize what I've learned or the biggest takeaway that I need to change, I think I need to make the self-determination a little bit more, I guess, specific. Just saying communication, that's kind of broad. I need to say maybe that not only will I just am determined to be better at my communication, but I'm determined to be better because I'm gonna have to use it in my future job. I want to uplift my team. It'll help our team cohesion. And then we also talked about it being realistic. So being more positive maybe in the post game or like adding in or not realistic. No, yeah. Adding in maybe in the post game, maybe making that part of the goal is like after game specifically, you want to make sure you add win or lose, add a positive comment. I could add that in. And then on the action side, that instead of just saying communication or verbal language, we need to add some nonverbal behaviors because as we talked about in class, those are pretty much more important than just what you say. Your body language could say way more than physical language. So making it a little bit more nonverbal also.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thanks.
That was much better than mine is going to be. Um, my goal that I selected, my bad goal from the list was that I want to drink more water. And honestly, that is a terrible goal because it's like we've all talked about it. It doesn't fit the SMART goals at all. It's extraordinarily vague. More is a ambiguous word. And there's no real rhyme or reason to the goal. Um, like I said, how it fails to meet the criteria to be a SMART goal. It's not specific at all. It doesn't say, how much water that I want to drink. It just simply says that I want to drink more. It doesn't say, I drank X amount already, so I want to drink more of that. It doesn't start with any sort of baseline. It could be like I want to drink, 3 more ounces a day because I only drink, 52, so I want to drink 55. Or I drink Diet Coke every day and I want to, not have my pee be look like Fanta. The goal is also it's not measurable. There's no quantitative values to look at. It's just like more. Like I said, when I was looking at it, I kept going back to that word. See, you drank some water while we were doing that. Was that on purpose? I like that. Um, I think there needs to be more, concrete units there. So like I want to drink, 3 water bottles full, and even that can be more specific. And that's, I want to drink, 3 16-ounce water bottles full of water every day, or I want to drink, you know, I want to have 32 ounces done by noon. That's that. Um, there's no action in the goal at all. It's very much so outcome oriented. It just says I want to drink more water. It doesn't talk about how I'm going to drink more water, just saying that it does. Um, Going back to what I said about it being specific and there being a starting value, that feeds into the goal not being realistic because it doesn't talk about the current habits that I have formed around drinking water, and it doesn't talk about the current habits. And to make it more realistic, I would, obviously have specific values and have a baseline where I was at. There's also one of the other criteria that the goal fails to meet is that it's not time sensitive. It just says I want to drink more water. It doesn't say I want to drink more water every day for 6 months. It just says more. Um, there's also no self-determination, which is the last part of the smarts, the last S. Um, it just is there's no motivation for it. Like I said, maybe I drink Diet Coke every day and I want to, uh, start drinking more water instead. I don't say that in the goal, so there's no self-determination there. And how I would improve that is I would start with the S and I would start making it very, very specific, and set up a target. So the target that I chose was I want to drink 64 ounces of water every day, and how I would split that up is I would have 4 individual water bottles with me that are each 16 ounces. And I would make sure, I would have one 16-ounce water bottle that I would fill up 4 times each during the day, not 4. That would not be realistic. Um, that I would fill up throughout the day, and I would want to have each water bottle drank by a specific time, which leads me into the measurable portion of it, and talks about how I'm going to track it. So I was kind of looking at it as in 4-hour blocks. If I go from 8 to 8, so it's like I want to have 16 ounces. So say I start my day at 7:30 a.m. right? I want to have 16 ounces drinking starting at 8 by 12, and then have another 4 ounces or 16 ounces drinking from 12 to 4, and then from 4 to 8 another, and then from 8 to whenever I go to bed another 16 ounces drinking there to meet my 64-ounce fluid goal. And how I would also measure this is actually there's an app on the App Store called Plant Nanny. It's really good for helping you track your water progress. And every time you drink water, you can add it on the app, and it allows you to get like a virtual little bucket to pour on your water, and I want or pour water on the plants, and I want to grow a big garden. I think that's also aids in the self-determination. I don't know why you guys are laughing. That's that's not far-fetched. I mean, I feel like anyway,
No, I like
um,
that.
really good app.
That's really good.
I
I'm gonna
suggest that
get
you
it.
guys download
Do you
that.
use it now? Do you use it now?
Yes, I
Not to
do
interrupt you.
actually.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
downloading it right now.
all right. Let's get back to track here, guys. I feel like we've deviated a little bit. So when I talk about action oriented, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna carry a water bottle with little lines on it. I guess you can't see my pen, but like with little lines on it that track where you're at. And I can use this during the day to make sure it's like, okay, it's 10 a.m. I want to have, make sure I'm at least halfway through so I can hit my, kind of 4-hour segment goal that I have set in place. Um, and the plant nanny notifies your phone. Actually, kind of the whole goal is kind of built around this app, saying like, hey, my hydrangeas need some more water. You should probably drink some, which also helps in the action orientation there. And then try to be around water fountains or with water filters in them to make sure that I can always have water in my water bottle, for just in case I get thirsty at any given moment. And I would make this goal more, I think this is a realistic goal, because I feel like 64 ounces is not too challenging to fit in my daily routine, but definitely I would say is a little bit more, or that I'm drinking now. And I also think this is a concrete, so it is able to lay a good baseline for where I'm at. To and to add the time element, I wanted to do drink 64 fluid ounces every day for 4 weeks and see where I'm at. And then if I have to make adjustments from there, maybe I want to drink more or less, see how it's affecting my well-being, there, and then check in maybe again in another 6 months and see, 6 months ago I felt so much different. Now that I'm drinking you know so much water and have a flourishing garden on my app. um and then for the self-determination part, sorry, I'm just referencing my notes. This is a goal for for me to have general wellness, and I think it's healthy to drink a lot of water. um it's calming to me, and it makes sure that I have something to keep with me, and it makes it intentional and not just like I'm drinking water just to drink water. I want to drink water to help with you know hydration, and for my well-being, and to make sure that I'm not dying. So those are my that's my goal. What do you guys think about it?
I like it.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I think you definitely hit on the measurability, with the 4-hour segments and the 16 ounces each. And I think that's part of your probably strongest point. But to add on to that, to make it even stronger, I think like maybe a halfway progress check in could help evaluate like progress even more, to make sure you're staying on track. Or if you're not staying on track, notice where the flaws in this goal could be. Like even if it's not a measurability flaw, maybe it's a realistic flaw. Maybe you drink way more water or way too little water,
Sure.
if you're in class, but yeah, I would think that halfway progress or halfway check-in goal would definitely help this goal a lot.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
So when you say halfway progress, do you mean like halfway throughout the day?
No, I mean like halfway throughout your
Your
total goal
segments?
period. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Not the
yeah, the
total goal
overall
period.
SMARTS goal.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I
Thank
agree with
you.
that. I think, well, I don't know how much water you drink in a day, because if you drink 64, that's really good. Or like I guess that's your goal. As far as like the realistic standpoint, because that's like a good, well, it depends on if you're like an athlete or whatever. For your average person, maybe who's like not an athlete or doesn't work out all the time, that's like a lot of water. Um, so I would say like even if you maybe worked up to that. But like I said, if you're already drinking like 48 ounces of water, 64 ounces is not crazy, like unrealistic. Um, so I like it. I agree with the check-in point. I would check in like halfway through the thing because if you're drinking more, I would definitely up it, or if you're drinking less, I would make it more attainable. Because like I said, that's a good amount of water
Right.
for
Don't
the
have
average
like
person because
booze
people
going
just don't drink that
overdrive.
much water. Um, but yeah, I like it. I think it's a good goal. I think it's pretty specific, realistic depending on the person.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had like a question, and it could go as a suggestion to your goal, like um asking kind of, what habit could you add to make your goal more achievable? Like you have the habits like on your phone, that app, that seemed like a really good idea. It looks really fun, interactive, growing a little garden and stuff. But like, like for example, like adding maybe when you wake up, you just chug one full glass of water. Or, at meals, instead of like a soda, you just incorporate just your water jug instead,
Sure.
like some habits, healthy habits that help you achieve this goal daily. But I think that would be more on the action specific side if you just of the smarts goal, if you added that, maybe like some specific habits even more than you already have. But overall, I think you have like good habits or good actions that could lead to positive outcomes of this goal. But you
Perfect. Do you guys think that I should change anything else with the goal to, I don't know, to make it more specific or, you know, measurable or realistic?
I really didn't hear like much of why, like you're self determined, like
Hmm.
it was it like for overall health, or like is it to stay more hydrated, or is it just
Yeah,
for yeah.
to stay more hydrated, definitely. And but why would I want to stay more hydrated? Just because it promotes, overall well-being. Um, it makes you feel more. It makes me feel more energized throughout the day. It makes me feel like I'm making a healthy choice, and not drinking a beer with dinner instead. Maybe I have water instead, right? That's much better for your body. Um,
Right.
Plus, I run and cycle a lot, so it's important to maintain hydration. Otherwise, if you're dehydrated, you lose energy or fatigue and stuff
Yeah, I think that
beyond
would
beyond the
definitely help.
physiology.
I think that would help the self-determined part like a lot, and give
Sure.
it more like beef or like meaning, almost like a motivational part in the self-determined, like reminding yourself why you want to achieve this goal. But
Right.
I like what you're saying. Instead of beer, yeah, that makes a lot of sense, man.
Right.
I'm not saying I have a problem with drinking beer, by the way.
Right. Right.
That was just um,
Yeah, I really like the app
most
for
people think of
sure.
beer with death.
I think accountability really should be added into the SMART goal acronym. I like that you have a
Sure.
whole app for accountability, something to keep you tracked. Like it's measurable by itself, but like I mean, you're growing a garden and I love that. So I think that helps with the motivation. Makes it easier, a little bit of an incentive to drink water.
Excuse me. Sorry.
Yeah. Sounds like your throat's dry, Charlie. You might need some water, man.
No, I just have bronchitis.
Right. Yeah, let's all just take a sip.
Yeah, you inspired me to drink some more water.
Yeah.
I
Professor,
love
if you're
water.
watching, take a sip.
I like I
He might
like
be drinking beer. Actually, nah, sorry. Sorry.
um, I hope that we all get emails about this. That would really show me that you actually watch the videos.
I don't
Anyway.
want to email about this unless it's great job. Great job. I enjoyed my beer and drank some water. Now,
Anyway, just to summarize, to summarize what you guys said for me. Oh my goodness. Wow. I really like what you talked about with the halfway progress check-in for the measurable section of it. I think that is a really good thing to add. And I think it could be a key part of the not only the measurability but the time as well. and the realistic, so it kind of hits three birds with one stone there. It can impact, okay, maybe 64 ounces is too much, maybe it's too little, maybe I'm knocking that out of the park and I should be drinking 128. I probably have a huge garden by then. And it helps. Notice where the flaws are. Sorry, I'm thinking about him drinking a beer right now. I can't get that out of my head. I think yeah, now I'm losing my mind with the coughing too. It's so fun. I think that excuse me. All right, I'm hopefully I'm gonna be able to stop coughing. Yeah, I think that helps it make it more realistic. All right, I can't stop laughing now. It's terrible. That's terrible.
All right, that was awesome. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, no, I have more to say about the
Oh.
summarization, excuse me. The self-determination too part, I think that's really important. I kind of was just like, yeah, I want to promote general wellness. I can make that more specific and remind myself why I want to engage in that. And what like about drinking the water. I guess it was just me talking that's making me cough this much, but whatever. Why I want to drink more water. Think about, well, I guess while I'm drinking it, okay, I know that me drinking this water right now is a healthier choice than a soda or something else. It's better. It's gonna help me. If I'm gonna go on a run later, I'm gonna feel better and hydrated. Kind of all salt to be able to encompass a lot of different self determination aspects. But yeah, is there anything else that you guys want to add to that?
No, I like the changes. I think your SMART goal definitely meets everything.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty good.
Excellent. All right. Well, I'm gonna end the recording right now.
See if you can download it while we're still on here, because if we have to restart this, it's gonna be terrible.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know.
I think you just end it and then I don't remember how we did it last time. He had to tell us how to do it.
I don't remember either.
Here,
I'm just
I
gonna.
looked it up before. Let's see. It's how to download. Okay, go to the chat tab, find the past meeting, and click the recap tab. Then select download.
Oh yeah, the old one is in there. So I think you just have to end it. But it shouldn't delete it. Like,
Yeah, if it's recorded, it should have like the whole thing recorded, some type of file or something.
wow, that's like an hour long of him. I'll have to listen to that.
Wow,
Actually, the first 20 minutes weren't transcribed yet or recorded of this meeting.
bro, we were cooking until Charlie was trying to just make us laugh, bro.
I wasn't doing that on purpose.
Bro.
I just hope we gave enough suggestions because we technically had to give 3 each, but I'm like, I'm not gonna repeat what he already said.
Yeah.
Wait, where do you get it from?
Go to chat, like on the side, the chat on the side.
Let's see. Yeah.
And we might have to end this meeting to see it. Well, no, we did it last time and we didn't.
Oh no, transcript. Yeah, let's just end it.
Okay.
Wait, the transcript wasn't ended?
What?
No, the transcript was ended. It's right here.
Where?
Oh, wait, no, it's not. Type.